Stretching over 3 states, the Natchez Trace Parkway runs 444 miles between Nashville, Tennessee and Natchez, Mississippi. Following the travel corridor once used by American Indians, settlers, slave traders, and future presidents, the scenic byway is now popular for hiking, biking, camping, and more. The National Park Service in Tupelo, Mississippi maintains the trace and also employs passionate rangers like Andy Denneker that love to share why and how the trail's history is still relevant today. Erick's getting the lowdown on a small portion of the parkway.
A trace is a French word for meaning trail.
Okay.
So the parkway, or the Natchez Trace, before the pavement, is 10,000 years of history. So you have animals coming here using it as a game trail, back and forth.
That's where it started,
That's where it starts.
Okay.
Because those animals are here, that brings in American Indians. Before we know them as tribal, you know, not the Chickasaw, Choctaw, Cherokee. Then those Native Americans that we know of here in Tupelo, we know in some of the burial mounds that there was trading goods from all the way up in Michigan. So there's an extensive trade network.
Amazing.
Early 1800s, this turns into a mail route. So this is the first Pony Express as well.
Really?
Once the United States government gets involved, that brings in European settlers to the area using the parkway or the trace, bring their families in, obviously then morphing into the roads and the system we have today. The story of not only the Natchez Trace Parkway, but I think the National Park Service is the story of all of us.
What about the relevance to today and right now?
We try to tell the story of everybody. You know, here in Tupelo, with those mound sites that we work closely with the Chickasaw Nation out in Oklahoma, and they bring their people come back here, take tours, visit these mound sites because they're sacred spots to them.
Absolutely.
For us, you know, here today where we are on the old trace, you know, you think of all the people that would have walked here. Those American Indians. Andrew Jackson could have walked this section.
Right.
Meriwether,
right where we're standing. Yeah.
Local school sports teams, mainly the cross-country teams, track team, come and will run the trail. We were very fortunate that they ran the trail for training a whole lot, and they were real connected to the park, and we needed some help with our bridges and everything, and they were the first ones, or one of the first ones, to come and help build some of those bridges to maintain the trails. So again, it's that connection to why is the park special to them. It gives them a place to run.
Right. You know, that's the overarching question. Why is it special? You know, why is it special to you? Why is it special to you? And there's so many different answers.
There's never one answer.
Yeah.
A short hike from the parkway once stood a small village of homes and strongly fortified stockades in an area of less than 20 square miles.
So here at Chickasaw Village site, we have the outline of this one in particular is the winter house.
Okay.
One thing of note for the Chickasaw, you notice here kind of how the curb cuts.
Right.
And then we're on the outside. They don't really have doors at this time. They have these offset entrances, and then you can walk into the house this way.
Anybody home?
Yeah.
Anybody home? What year are we talking here? Like what?
We know the Chickasaws start to come into villages similar to this in the 1500s. We know Chickasaw are here in Tupelo up until the 1830s. And here at Chickasaw Village was actually one of the first preserved sites on the Natchez Trace Parkway.
Okay.
That this was preserved even before the road is built. Chickasaw Village was important to the history of not only Mississippi, but the park idea here.
Okay.
Archaeologists and historians have concluded that here at the Chickasaw Village was a tribe of around 2,000 people.
With these tombstones here, was there a battle or?
There was not a battle right here.
Okay.
These gentlemen here are, there's 13 unknown Confederate soldiers. Obviously being right next to the old trace, they're buried here. Their friends knew who they were. Unfortunately, by the time the parkway comes into existence in the 1930s, the tombstones that were here were unreadable.
Okay.
So then these granite tombstones were replaced at that time.
But obviously they're still being remembered today.
They are still being remembered. We routinely get fresh flowers.
Yeah, there's some here now. Is that, and then the coins, what is the can I pick one up?
Yeah.
Is that okay? I'm gonna pick up the heart. I think that's super cool.
That people leave these coins and other little beads and stuff as a sign of respect for the men that are buried here. Token of gratitude. It's very popular. Other veterans will bring and leave things here. You'll see this in other cemeteries throughout the country as well.
Well, and that's, you know, just back to the importance of history and preserving it. I mean, people are remembering.
Yeah,
and that's the part of history we have to remember. And you were saying something when we were over there about, you like to say that history happens here?
History happens here, that it's not static, it's not stuck in time, that you walk here 150 years ago, a little over 150 years ago. These guys were in the same spot as we are today.
Right.
Their friends were here. The old trace. History happens in national parks. We get to remember them, but also not have the hardships of them.
Totally.
You know.
Is there a story that sticks out that kind of really sums up everything that we're talking about and why this is so important?
For me, it sums up in seeing people's faces when they, you know, been driving a really long ways. We get phone calls every day. Can you send us information to Oregon and Florida? There's lots of different kinds of park rangers.
Yeah.
The ones you usually see dressed like me, they have the flat hat like me. They're usually an interpreter or a law enforcement ranger. An interpreter, we work with school children, so my background originally, I thought I wanted to be a history teacher. Then I realized I didn't want to sit inside for 35 years.
Right.
So what better place than to come out?
This is your classroom.
Exactly.
Right where we are, yeah.
So for me, I view my job as an interpreter as the education part of the National Park Service.
Right. And bridging the story of 10,000 years of history to today.
If you just come out here on your own, lots of people do it and they have a great time here, and that's what they're looking for, to get away. But there's people that come into the visitor center very frequently and have questions about birds, trees. They want to connect to what is the parkway.
Totally.
And that's my job, is to help them connect to the history, the nature, and make their time here special and memorable.
Right on.
We always have lots of stuff going on.
Man, well, how about you point me in the right direction now, and we'll keep walking.
Please tip your hat or clap your hands for the fine people that are making sure our valley's natural resources will be left to future generations in even better shape than when they took on their selfless missions to preserve. And from all of us at Tennessee Valley Uncharted, we salute you and the work that you do.